Have you ever wondered what it would take to survive the impossible? What if I told you about a 17-year-old girl who fell 2 miles from the sky, landed in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, and walked out alive? This isn't a Hollywood movie plot. It's the incredible true story of Juliane Koepcke. Let's travel back to Christmas Eve, 1971. Juliane and her mother were flying over Peru on Lanza Flight 508. They were heading to see her father, a renowned zoologist, for Christmas. Juliane was a jungle child, having spent years living with her parents at a research station in the Amazon. This unique upbringing gave her knowledge and skills that would soon become her only lifeline. The flight started like any other, but soon they flew into a massive thunderstorm. The turbulence was violent, shaking the plane relentlessly. Suddenly, a blinding flash of lightning struck the aircraft's fuel tank. The plane began to disintegrate in mid-air. The last thing Juliane remembers is her mother calmly saying, "Now it's all over." Then she was falling, still strapped to her row of seats, spiraling down towards the dense, green canopy of the Amazon jungle below. Imagine the sheer terror of that fall. 2 miles, that's over 10,000 feet, plummeting towards the earth. The row of seats acted like a sycamore seed, spinning and slowing her descent just enough. The thick, unforgiving jungle canopy, which has claimed so many, became her unlikely savior, breaking her fall. When Juliane woke up, it was the next morning. She was alone. The silence of the rainforest was broken only by the sounds of insects and distant animals. She had a broken collarbone, a deep gash on her leg, and one eye was swollen shut. She'd lost one of her shoes and her glasses. All around her was the wreckage of her own small world. The miracle of surviving the fall was just the beginning. Now she had to survive the jungle. Her parents, both zoologists, had taught her a crucial survival lesson. If you're lost in the jungle, find water and follow it downstream. A small stream will lead to a larger river, and rivers are the highways of the Amazon, where people build settlements. This single piece of advice, ingrained in her from childhood, would guide her every step. For 11 days, Juliane walked. She waded through waist-deep water, her open wounds becoming a breeding ground for insects and infection. She had only a small bag of candy she'd found in the wreckage, which she quickly finished. Hunger became a constant, gnawing companion. She was surrounded by the dangers of the jungle snakes, spiders, and crocodiles, but her biggest fear wasn't the predators. It was starving to death alone. During her ordeal, she encountered the bodies of other passengers. It was a horrifying experience, but she pushed onward, driven by the sheer will to live. Her knowledge of the jungle helped her avoid the most dangerous creatures. She knew which plants were poisonous and which sounds signaled danger. The gash on her arm became severely infected. Maggots had burrowed into the wound. In a moment of incredible courage and desperation, Juliane remembered seeing her father treat their dog for a similar infestation. She poured gasoline, which she found near a small abandoned boat, onto the wound to force the maggots out. She pulled out dozens of them herself. It's a gruesome detail, but it showcases her unbelievable resilience. On the 10th day, weak and on the verge of giving up, she stumbled upon a small, empty hut and a motorized canoe. It was the first sign of human life she'd seen. She was too weak to move the canoe, so she crawled into the hut to rest, hoping its owners would return. The next day, 3 lumberjacks appeared. At first, they were startled by the sight of this ghost-like girl, covered in mud and blood. They thought she might be a water spirit from local folklore, but Juliane, who spoke Spanish, explained her story. The men were astounded. They treated her wounds with local remedies, gave her food, and the next day took her on a 7-hour canoe journey to the nearest village. From there, she was airlifted to a hospital. Juliane Koepcke was the sole survivor of LANSA Flight 508. 91 other people, including her mother, perished in the crash. Her story of survival captivated the world. How did she do it? It was a combination of luck, her unique upbringing, and an unshakable will to live. After her rescue, Juliane moved to Germany and, following in her parents' footsteps, became a biologist. For decades, she shied away from the media, trying to process her trauma and grief. The experience left deep scars, both physical and emotional. She was haunted by survivors' guilt and nightmares for years. Eventually, she decided to tell her full story, collaborating on a documentary called Wings of Hope with director Werner Herzog. In a twist of fate, Herzog himself had a ticket for that very same flight, but had changed his plans at the last minute. Together, they returned to the crash site, an emotional journey that helped Juliane find a sense of closure. She also wrote a book, When I Fell from the Sky, sharing the intimate details of her survival and recovery. Today, Dr. Juliane Diller, she uses her married name, is a respected mammologist at the Bavarian State Collection of Zoology in Munich. She has dedicated her life to studying the very rainforest that almost claimed her, and now works to protect it. The research station her parents established, Panguana, is now a thriving private nature reserve, a legacy to their work and a testament to her own enduring connection to the jungle. Juliane's story is more than just a survival tale. It's a profound story about resilience, the power of knowledge, and the unbreakable human spirit. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, when all hope seems lost, there can be a path forward. It is a story of a young girl who fell from the sky and not only lived to tell the tale, but rose from the experience to dedicate her life to the very wilderness that was, the scene of her greatest tragedy and her most incredible triumph. What do you think is the most unbelievable part of Juliane's story? Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as inspiring as I did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more incredible true stories.